besides the great in-ring experiences I had being by my dear friend Chris Benoit's side and work with Arn and Steve Michaels and Ric Flair, the one time that really stood out to me that very entertaining night, and it was a lot of fun. It was the first time we went back to United Center, and this is the home of Chicago Bulls, more important, the home of Chicago Bears, where Steve Michaels spent 13 seasons. Steve was a big name in the Chicago area, and the first kind of a homecoming back for Steve as a horseman. We were up in a skybox that was owned by Michael Jordan and a good friend of Ric Flair, General MacArthur, who owns the Chicago Blackhawks, and we had a kind of like a dual skybox at that point. And myself and Arn, prior to Nitro starting, we were up there probably about 30 minutes prior, trying to get some lighting set up and everything. And we were going to basically, the Horsemen were going to be up here all night watching the show, and back and forth during the show. Different things would be going on with the Horsemen parting with some of the upper echelon of Chicago, so to speak. So I got up there first with Arn, and I leaned over in the balcony, and there's a couple people giving me the four-finger sign, and I saw a young lady with her fiance at the time, and he looked at me and he gave me the four fingers. And I started looking, I noticed that he didn't have a thumb, and I started to chuckle because I was talking to Arn. I said, boy, how dedicated is this guy? He actually cut off his thumb so he could constantly be the Four Horsemen. And he had a sign with his girlfriend, and they held it up together, and they were huge Chris Benoit fans. So I couldn't wait for Chris to meet him. And Chris, I mean, it couldn't have been laid out any better, but Chris is actually the last one to actually go out off the end there of the skybox and say hi to him. And Ric Flair came, then Steve McMichael, and each one individually, they come out and said, if you get a chance, if you show the four fingers to the guy down here. And I didn't actually tell them about the thumb or anything. So Chris Benoit was the last one, and I didn't set this up as a joke. Chris came out, and the guy just went nuts. You can see he was turning red in the face. It was like this was his favorite wrestler of all time. He finally gets to meet Chris Benoit, and he looks at Chris and gives Chris the Four Horsemen sign. And I look over, and Chris, without even thinking about it, not even noticed that the gentleman was missing a thumb, Chris looked at him and went and gave him the thumb. And it was it was a great moment until I actually pulled Chris aside and told him the gentleman didn't have his thumb. It was just a lot of fun. It was one of my favorite stories, being a horseman. Actually, the 20-some years that I had in my career, it was a really good night, and I was highly entertained to watch Chris's face afterwards when I told him, because he felt so guilty for doing that.